Really is.
This is an emergency transmission. Citizens of the world, please, make no mistake. The zombie apocalypse is near. Will you cower and hide, or join us and fight? We are Dezombified. So stay on point and watch your six.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
Deadly nightshade and grotesque smiles. Our circle of horror honeys will make you bow. With every show and post, our fan base will grow. Come one, come all, and join the show. And with everyone's dissolution, we will cut the crown. We shall waltz around with me and Mina singing a song. And don't forget the ghost in the corner, Bansheba. And sitting at the table of terror, we got Dame Saturday and Mary P. sitting around. Now don't be mistaken on who has the crown. Come one, come all to the show of ages. Their time is now. With every word a chill runs down, scarier than a shed full of tools, with people being fools, as if the moon was red and a vampiric masquerade was full of dread. The Horror Honeyz are not to fret. They can bring a showstopper full of wonder, like a pirate's plunder, every word captivating. It gotta make you ponder why it fills you with such fright, with all of the Horror Honeyz waltzing through the night.
Invasion of the gerbils. That's what it looks like right now. I love those dollies. Sip the teacups.
Yay!
And there's the crow flies. Hi.
Hi.
Can everybody hear us?
If anybody can hear us, please flood the chat with some green hearts. Show us the love.
Show us some green hearts.
Yes.
Crow can hear us.
Yay!
Sabian can hear us. There's realities in perspective.
Yes.
Abandoned cat, an ownerless cat. That okay?
Yes. Soul Taker!
Great white.
Hello, you.
Soul Taker. All right. CCG. Good grief. It's wonderful to see you, and it's wonderful to have you here. Philia. I didn't see Philia. Oh, there's Philia. Poor Philia. Philia's got a really bad headache this morning.
Oh, too bad I did not bite her.
All right. I'm gonna steal some chicken nuggies here in a minute.
Ooh, is there a toy surprise with that Happy Meal? I wonder.
I don't know. Is there? If there is, yeah. Okay, let's see here. Whoops, wrong window. This music is really great.
Oh, bye, Philia. It was good to see you.
Philia, you go lay down. Love you.
Take care.
And there's Fear the Great White. Okay, so as you can tell, we're a little short today.
Yes.
Not in stature. or in
No,
imagination
never.
or in words or anything like that.
Or butt size.
And definitely not in bus size.
No.
Mary is in the middle of some stuff for her job, so we're okay with that.
Yes.
And I don't know how many of you know, but in the past, if you don't know, you haven't been looking at my Twitter.
Shame.
I've been flooding Twitter with this because Bathsheba's father has passed away.
Yeah.
And it's due to, sadly, the nursing home not doing their jobs. But that's about as far as I'm going to go with that. She is having problems getting the money up to have him cremated. And so she has put a GoFundMe account together. I'm going to post this in there for you guys. And I would appreciate if you can give, please do. If you can't, please get that out to people who may be able to give and may be able to help her. I think if everybody gives like $5-10, she should be able to get there very quickly. But
Yes.
I know some people can't even give that much. So
Yes. Donate to the Bathsheba Fund.
So please, if you can, give her some help. This is not a good time for the family right now.
No.
And Scooby and the gang reveal that the Florida man was actually Fear the Great White.
Ooh.
Also, if you are on Twitter, go check out CCG's Twitter page and grab the I believe it's still pinned there. CC may correct me on this. Grab the pinned message there to see if we can get Swamp Dweller back on Twitter, because he's in Twitter jail right now and we don't know. Apparently it's a no reason according to Slumber, and we're trying to get him back.
I just wonder, what does Twitter have against us narrators?
I don't know.
Do they not like your content? Is it too offensive? Are we way too scary? Oh, I think
That's
so.
it. That's it. We're way
We
too
must
scary.
be way too scary. Way too scary for the community. Oh no.
What do you call a guy with a shovel in his head? An ambulance immediately. Yes, Boggs. It's a very messed up situation, and yeah. For both Bathsheba and Swamp Dweller, and I just watched Swamp Dweller's latest video this morning, as a matter of fact. So yeah. All right. So I have with me the delightfully, diabolically delicious Damn Saturday.
Hello, how are my Deadites today? Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. And we all have our fill. Oh, and speaking of fill, we got the thirsty, undead ballerina, Mina herself. Come on.
And welcome to Real Skream with the Horror Honeyz, at least two of us.
Come on, we're a dynamic duo. You got
Yeah, we can do it.
Yeah.
We can do this. Twitter is made out of verbs and evil. Har will always be looked at as the unwanted stepchild, and Swap really helped me out. I'd like to do whatever I can.
Oh.
Thank you, Sabian. Thank you, Sabian. That's great to hear.
Okay, amazing. That explains who stole my socks
There.
today, but that's okay. I got plenty of other over the knee socks. You can count on that.
We are very happy to be back. And there is the link to CCG's tweet. It needs to be retweeted, ladies and gentlemen. We need to get Swamp Dweller back on Twitter. And I'm going to do this for Bathsheba probably more than once during the show. So get it out there
Yes.
as much as we can.
Yes.
So today we are wishing you a happy Thanksgiving. But and I know there is a lot of criticism of Thanksgiving right now, because everybody's trying to be politically correct and all that other stuff. There's actually a I'm sorry, I looked over and I saw the amazing what the fuck's Zeus in 2019 release the Kraken, Zeus in 2020 release the Karen. Okay.
A whole army of Karens and Carls, I might add. No. We do not
Chads.
show any favoritism on this show. We attack both genders and beyond. We show no mercy.
I know that there's a lot of people who have considered Thanksgiving how to kill indigenous people day and a lot of other names that I've heard it lately.
Mhm.
There's actually some historical reference that shows that the first Thanksgiving may or may not have happened in Plymouth Rock. The other Vyres for the first Thanksgiving, which may or may not have happened in November, we're not even sure about that at this point, is Virginia, North Carolina, and Florida.
Yeah.
Florida looks like they've probably got the best argument, I guess is the right word. They do have the oldest incorporated city in St. Augustine. So apparently it was a religious celebration to celebrate the fact that they had been able to find a place that they could settle and live in the new world without being persecuted too, but persecuted.
Yeah. Although, technically speaking, the first Thanksgiving was celebrated in Europe, primarily in the UK.
Yeah.
So it goes back way further.
So
it's not just a corporate holiday.
Right. What about duck and chicken? You murdered a turkey. And natural eat yourself in a coma. Hi, Fader.
Yes. But actually, from what I know about the European take on, quote unquote Thanksgiving, was that it was originally celebrated on August the 1st, and also around in August as well, and especially when the old pagan days when they had their harvest festivals, and so it's like giving thanks to Mother Earth or whatever deity you can call it if you like.
Right.
Like, thanks for the grab and everything, and we've worked really hard, and this is like an act of magic on their part to provide all this wonderful food and all the crops, and not just turkey,
right,
but also other things too. So originally it was celebrated during that time, and it was called Lunasa. Weird spelling of it, but that's what was done in Ireland mainly, and also there's Lamaz, the more Christian term for it, and loaf mass. So bread making was very traditional during that time, as well as making berry pies and other stuff.
I can imagine.
And also, here's something else that's fun you can incorporate with it next year to make it more traditional, is that not only have a big feast and saying thanks for everything that you provided, but you can incorporate games into it. They had their own form of Olympics
Oh,
in
cool.
competitions that they have, especially tossing of stones and tossing of big timber log, and also foot races. They did all sorts of wrestling matches. So yeah, it was actually loads of fun for that part. And they actually had 3 harvest festivals, but that was just the very beginning of it.
Wow.
And from what I know, the pilgrims actually celebrated this loaf mass. So it was more like okay, we were originally supposed to arrive in Plymouth around August, but they end up being late by November, so they still wanted to have that harvest festival.
Yeah.
So they made their own mock holiday for Thanksgiving.
Right.
As far as that goes, so it actually has more of a mishmash of European / Native American roots here. So it's like our own hybrid.
Yeah. And Philia brings up a good point. Almost every group of humans have days of thanks somewhere in the year.
Yeah.
Amazing what the fuck said. South Africa doesn't have Thanksgiving. We have shut up and eat yourself into a coma, or I'll hit you with a spatula day.
Yeah. And yes, I agree with you, Box Official, right there.
Yeah. Yes.
So,
No.
it's like, okay, we're late by 3 months, so how are we going to do this? It's like, hey, let's make our Thanksgiving, and
now
like that.
Now, and I looked this up, and as far as I can see, goes back to Obama's term in office. But did you know that November is also National Native American Month?
Ooh, that's interesting.
Like I said, the first I could find was Obama, but Trump also signed the same paperwork, so we're back up there. So yeah, it's really. What are you doing to me? I'm looking. There's a mouse that was over my face.
Oh no! Get that thing away from me.
But yeah, I think that was really, really cool. I'm getting a.
So we think, technically speaking, Thanksgiving in itself is actually a lot more ancient than we realize.
Yes. So we thought we would honor our Native American family members, and believe it or not, I don't think there's a person on this continent that does not have some Native American family members somewhere in the list. Yeah, bacon.
Yes.
Okay, amazing. What the fuck? You get some good rest.
Take care. It's good to see you again.
You can listen to the replay.
Oh yeah. We won't disappoint.
No. Now, we are not, we're going to look at cryptids and hauntings of Native Americans, some other monsters and so forth, but we are not going to look at wendigos and skinwalkers. First of all...
Oh, bye, Soul Taker.
No. Okay.
Aww.
But, no leaving.
Oh. Something we said or not said?
What did we do?
Wonder. That's not good.
But we could actually do a whole show on just wendigos and just skinwalkers and correcting the mythology, the popular versus mythology. But we don't have we don't want to do that today because we want to look at some others that are often
let the other monsters share the spotlight. Come on.
Yeah, that are not talked about as much.
Yeah.
And that aren't even thought of. when to go where?
Nice pun.
That's a good one. I like
Nice
that.
pun right there. Love it.
Woo! Yes, please. Also, bacon.
We're-
Bacon.
Oh,
So if you would also like your fan art, visual or words or cosplay pictures, send it to our mailbox. We all scream, horrorhoneyz.com. We need more Patches pictures, I think.
yes. We miss Patches and adorable little fuzzball.
Yeah, we do. And first, please remember to like, share, subscribe, and ring the bell to get us more people in here.
Yes.
So we can have more fun. And yes, every like you give us, every subscription you give us to Dezombified, and there's also another button down there that says join. If you can and want to, you can join the membership of Dezombified, and that has its own perks, like I don't know, custom emojis.
Come on. Who does not like custom emojis?
Like this one that looks like the Horror Honeyz.
Cute.
Or Kenny in leggings.
Oh, yes. He still has yet to wear the full fishnet suit, damn it.
Yeah, we still got to get that.
Come on.
So our question of the day is, how many other, in other words, cryptids, hauntings, other Native American, are we buffering?
Seems like
No. I hope not. Okay. Team Kenny and Fishnets, and it's happening, Kenny. Yeah. Remember your hashtags. How many do you know of in the Native American belief systems in Navajo, Algonquin, or other tribes? You're not buffering. Okay, thank you. Oh, look! There's zombies! They're coming to get you!
great.
Before we get to that, let's see who's in the chat. We got it. Ooh, we got lots of people. Kenny in leggings is on TikTok. I'm gonna have to check that out. There is there is a PA Nightmares. There is Amazing. What the fuck?
Yes.
There is Creepy Clown Girl.
Oh, yes.
There's Boggs the Official, or is it the Boggs Official?
Soul Taker.
There's Soul Taker. Soul Taker. Fear the Great White.
Dun 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 dun
Dun,
dun
dun, dun,
dun.
dun. As the News Titans, our personal satyr.
Yes, he's such a delight.
We have to borrow him from CCG every once in a while, just to
Oh yes.
have
Come on,
him run around.
Philia Noctis.
Philia Noctis, Sabian, or Cleaving Thought from Bone. Who's putting out whose book release was this past week for his Christmas book of horrors.
And our new kitty, abandoned and ownerless cat. Hello.
Hello, kitty
So-
cat.
Yes, I met him so many times, and I just love him. Love his cute little face.
And the crow flies.
Yes.
A man with a very deep voice, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
A deep, sexy voice.
He's a sweetie. He really is.
Yeah, he is. He is really a sweetie.
Yes.
Realities in Perspective,
Mhm.
who I don't think they've missed a show that I can think of. I know that I've seen realities and perspective here. Maybe not this early in the show, but they've always been here during the show. So, yeah.
Yes. One of our devoted fans. We all love you.
And I think I've gone up all the way to the top of the chat, and that's everybody unless somebody just came in. Or hasn't talked, because if you don't talk, I don't see you. And that's okay, because we kind of love you anyway.
Mhm.
If you're lurking, we love you anyway.
Yes.
That's
Don't be
okay.
shy.
I've got Choctaw in me. I've got Cherokee in me. Well, we're not going to go that way.
It's like, oh, what else do you have in there?
Wow. I didn't think that would be coming out, but amazing what the fuck. If it had to come, I knew it would come from you. The lurkers are chasing the bacon squirrels.
Yes.
I can believe that. I can believe that.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Now, again, we could probably do a show on any one of these. We're not going to get to all of them. I guarantee you. There are a couple that at least in the hauntings, I really want to get into, especially one because PA wrote a story that Madame Fear, I can never say her name right. Give me a second. Give me a second. Frightmare. I tell you, I have a hard time saying it. Madame Frightmare did the story on her channel, and it had to do with a cornfield.
Cornfield.
And I don't think he knew about this. Almost 2 centuries before the overshadow of the Mothman reared its head at Point Pleasant, West Virginia, the area around the Ohio River ran with blood. This was obviously because the British had come in and were in deadly combat with the Native American lands. Perhaps one of their greatest foes in these early wars. Okay, I do have a tongue, and it does work occasionally.
People take that the wrong way.
Frightmare, thank you. Was a chief named Chief Cornstalk, who later became a friend to the Americans, but treachery, deception, and murder would bring an end to the chief's life. And he placed a curse on Point Pleasant that would linger for over 200 years, bringing tragedy, death, and disaster. This comes from I'm trying to see which tribe he was with, because I know I saw this. It was Shawnee. It was in one of the Shawnee tribe. Okay. And his name was actually Katonga. Which translates to cornstalk.
Ooh.
And in 1774, when the white settlers were moving into the Kawana River and Ohio River valleys, the Indian Confederacy prepared to protect their lands by any means necessary. The Indian Confederacy was 7 nations of enemies: Shawnee, Delaware, Wyandotte, Mingo, Miami, Ottawa, and the Illinois. Kind of interesting that the Blackfoot aren't in there, but that's my people. Part of my people stayed out of it and said, "No, I don't want to have anything to do with your little Confederacy." But These nations began a mass rush to hold their land, um, numbering with 1,200 warriors. They began to make preparations to attack the white settlers near an area called Point Pleasant in the Virginia side of the Ohio River. And they were facing off, obviously, against the British troops, or British soldiers, which were actually protecting the colonists at the time. The tribes retreated westward into the wilds of what is now Ohio, returning in order to keep them from returning. A fort was constructed at the junction of the Kewanee and the Ohio rivers. Now, time passed, and Chief Cornstalk, would become friends with them and have peace with the colonists. But of course, that took time. And he and other Indians were taken hostage, and while they were treated well, they were still hostages.
Yeah,
and
it doesn't matter. Anywhere you spell it or anything like that, hostage is still a hostage.
Right.
Sorry, but it is. And
his son came, and I cannot pronounce his son's name, so you're going to have to, I'm not even going to try it. Came to the fort to see his father, and he was also detained within the walls of the fort.
Oh no, not so.
I'll put his name in here. Yeah, we're going to need to go to commercial in a minute.
Yes.
There.
Brought to you by these delicious messages.
So what ended up happening is the soldiers burst through the doorway after deciding to meet or execute the prisoners, the hostages that they were holding, because the Indians were trying to get their people back. I don't see why that's a real bad problem, but so his son was Bob. His son was shot where he was sitting on a stool, and another unknown Indian was strangled to death. Cornstalk was shot 8 times before he fell to the floor. And as he lay dying in the smoke-filled room, he was said to have pronounced his now legendary curse. The stories say that he looked up at his assassin and spoke to them. I was the border man's friend. Many times I have saved him and his people from harm. I never warred with you, but only to protect our wigwams and lands. I refused to join your pale-faced enemies with the redcoats. I came to the fort as your friend, and you murdered me. You have murdered by my side my young son. For this may the curse of the Great Spirit rest upon this land. May it be blighted by nature. May it be blighted in its hopes. May the strength of its peoples be paralyzed by the stain of our blood. As he spoke these words, so says the legend, and then he died. The bodies of the Indians were taken and dumped into the river, but his corpse was buried near the fort, near Point Pleasant, overlooking the junction of the Kewanee and Ohio rivers. He remained many years, but he would not rest in peace. Apparently, there's been a lot of freaky things that have happened in the area because of this curse that they say. One of which, or some of which, were coal mine disaster in 1907. 1944, 150 people were killed when a tornado ripped through that area. The devastating Silver Bridge disaster, which was foretold by the Mothman, in 1967. A Piedmont Airlines plane in 1968 crashed, killing 35 people on board. So it just goes on and on and on. They've got a list here.
I think not.
Yeah, this list is on and on and on and on and on. So yeah, we usually think of Point Pleasant in response to the Mothman, but you know,
no.
This goes back even further, and the Mothman actually seems to have failed to warn about some of these things. But there's the article on that.
Come on, Mothman, you're
one.
sucking here.
And I'm pretty sure that PA had no idea that we had a cornstalk story from the Native Americans when he wrote his story.
And thanks, Creepy Clown Girl, for the $2.
Yes. Thank you, Creepy Clown Girl. Thank you. And now we are ready to go to commercial, and we'll come back with some other stories.
Brought to you by these sweet messages.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Bzz.
Hello. They say curiosity killed the cat. But thankfully for us, it led you to hit that join button.
Wait a minute! Who are you?
Who are we? That's easy. I'm Kenny Dreadful, and my partner's Mysterio. And together, we form Dezombified. Scary stories and good times.
You spoke French.
As enthusiasts of the macabre and bizarre, we cover stories that are unexplainable, unimaginable, paranormal, and otherworldly, in a style that's fun and laid back, and that's catered solely for mature audiences.
Yeah, boy.
And our community is everything to us. And that's why we love to promote creators from within our own genre.
Nice.
And it's all done through interviews, shout-outs, candid channel reviews, and more.
YOLO!
But all work and no play makes Jack a very, very dull boy.
Here's Johnny.
So from time to time, we love to mix it up with hangouts, phone calls, interactive games, and even some sexy ASMR. Yeah, you like it? Well, then come get some. And joining is the gift that keeps on giving, because on top of that blissful and warm feeling you get deep down inside from becoming a Dezombified member, you'll also get with your paid subscription neat badges right next to your name, custom, criminally insane, off the charts emotes that you could use right in the chat. And on top of that, once a month you'll receive some crazy off the hood gifts that truly bang out. So on top of the information, the entertainment, we also improve your health slightly through the magic of laughter. Hey, it's a no-brainer, so why don't you become a member today, baby?
No regrets, you know what I'm saying?
Feeling trapped and alone?
Tired of being sick and tired?
Then there's a place for you.
Hidden deep in the forest by a fresh lake, nestled by snow-capped mountains, is the commune. Enjoy life, surrounded by friends and nature.
A truly safe environment.
Albuquerque.
And when the sun goes down, we all get down and watch the sparks fly. Don't hesitate and send in your application today.
Open yourself for new experiences, imagery, sounds, and for me. Indulge in the best. You deserve it. I deserve it. We all deserve it at the commune. Albuquerque.
Cool.
But yeah,
We're gonna have to do a
since
show
I'm
on.
on the edge of town near the reservation.
Yeah.
Who knows what could emerge from there? Now that's some creepy shit.
We're gonna have to do a show on skinwalkers and more.
We have returned.
Yeah, we have returned. Every culture invents the sword, fried dough, and fermentation. There's a basic human need to stab someone, then have a beer and donuts.
Come on, have the beer and donuts instead.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. All right.
Stabbing is just too messy anyway. At least do it outside or something. Jeez.
Yeah. So many of you know that 13 past midnight
Yes.
put out a video about the legend of Spearfinger from the Appalachians. And I have another story from the Appalachians.
Who knows what comes from that mountain range?
The Appalachians are home to several different tribes. One obviously everybody knows, the Cherokee. Another one was Choctaw. The Choctaw and the Cherokee fought a lot.
Yep.
However, this story is kind of a love story.
No.
A young Choctaw maiden was out gathering food, and she met a young man who was hunting in the woods, and he was Cherokee, and they fell in love. Obviously, they had to meet secretly in the woods, and one evening they saw a strange red glow in the sky, and they felt drawn to it. And when they felt drawn to it, they found that it went to a cliff, and they stood on the edge of this cliff as they watched the sky grow deeper and deeper red until it was almost the color of fresh blood. The young man understood the sign, that it was a warning that the Cherokee and the Choctaw nations were preparing for a huge battle and blood would be lost on both sides. He knew his duty was to the Cherokee people, even though his heart was with his Choctaw love. Unwilling to decide which meant more to him, he chose another way, and he leapt from the rock the two were standing on into the valley below. The young woman was horrified by what had happened and prayed to the gods who controlled the wind would send her love back to her. They heard her prayer, and the young man was lifted back up into her arms. The young lovers journeyed together to each other's lands as an example of their love could bring peace between the two nations. The wind still blows strongly at Blowing Rock.
Ooh, mysterious and romantic. Well,
I always
better
get chills
love
from
that.
that story.
You know, that's a better love story than Twilight.
Yeah, it is. And like I said, I've got goosebumps right now. Kenny read that story. It's a great story. It really is. Oh yeah, he read Spearfinger. Yeah, Durf. That's Durf on me. All right, so let me see here. I'm going down our list that we've got over here.
Oh, how funny. It says the Pox official says, while stabbing the donuts, there's no procreation. I would like to see that kind of mitosis. They do cell division? Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe sweet.
It'll be sweet, sweet, sweet. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's covered in frosting, baby.
Yeah, every single society in the earth has their own mythical and scary creatures. This is one this would definitely keep me awake at night. Okay, this is from the Wydant and Iroquois. It's called the Flying Head, also known as Big Head. It's a cursed former tribe member seeks vengeance for the murdering of elders. It's a cannibalistic monster that belongs to the mythologies of the Iroquois and the Wydant people, which appears as the antagonist in several stories and legends. Especially during severe winters prior to the European arrival. An unknown tribe in New York State was suffering famine. The young men wished to move the tribe across the Great Lake to seek new opportunities, while the older man believed that the famine was to punish the people for their crimes to the spirits and made them desire to endure and stay. Enraged by the old men's stubbornness, their elders, the young men killed them and decapitated the bodies, dropping their heads into the lake. However, one of the young men involved became entangled in the pile of heads, falling into the lake and drowning. From the lake arose a giant head, taller than a man, coated in thick black hair, possessing wings and talons, which would perpetually hunt and haunt the tribe. After destroying those responsible for the murders, the Flying Head began terrorizing other tribes, which time the Iroquois faced the demon after being plagued for many years by the monster, including a famous folktale in which a hunter's dog was sacrificed themselves to save their masters from the beast. A woman roasting acorns was visited by the creature. Believing she was eating live coals, the Flying Head grew terrified at the strength of the Iroquois people and fled, never to return.
Well, it seems that the head has some bad eyesight there. And also, who says that Native American culture can be boring? It depends on how you present it. If anything, this is worthy of a horror movie. It needs to be in Hollywood.
This needs to be a horror movie.
Yes, it does. It needs to. Like, come on, showcase it in Hollywood already.
Similar to the Dullahan. Very similar to the Dullahan.
Yes, it does. I agree with that one.
It's really
Irish headless monster. Oh yes, creepy.
But it's kind of reverse to the Dullahan because it's the head. That story still scares the people in upstate New York. I bet it does. Thank you to Real Geeks for coming and seeing us. I've heard this one before too. The Lechuza is a race of monstrous owl women who hunt humans, especially children. I know you've heard this one.
Oh yes, very similar to the harpy.
Yes, the Yuccaman people inhabit modern Washington state. The big owl women, because they're mainly women from what I've always heard.
Yes.
They hunt people of nearby tribes, preferring the taste of children. Considered the most dangerous human predators, they were believed to be the progenitors of the entire owl species and believe themselves a spiritual symbol of death. Ooh. It is believed that after electricity drowned, her eye was used to spawn the other lesser owls. So therefore, all of the owls come from them. And Texas and Mexico, they have, in recent years, they have been getting reports of an owl-like monster that they also talk about being in there. I don't know if we're going to talk about Thunderbird.
Maybe. But hey,
It is on
would
the
it be
list.
offensive if you were to say, "Hey, lady, show me the Hooters"? I just had to throw that in there.
And it's got different names in different areas. Lachaza is what they call them in some. The Seminole Stinkini. I can't pronounce that one. I'm sorry. I can't pronounce that. I'm gonna put this in the chat.
Yeah. Have fun pronouncing it on your own.
Yeah, this is the tribe and what they call it.
But yeah, wouldn't that be really offensive? Especially like nowadays.
Mhm.
It's like say like, hey, like show the Hooters.
Yeah. The Seminole people believe that they still walk among them during the day, but at night they vomit their souls and become undead owl monsters to feast on human hearts.
Ooh.
That is scary.
Yes,
It's
it
kind of like
is.
a boogeyman.
Yeah, it is. Especially how it targets kids and like get them to behave. There's always like a boogeyman-like creature that scares children into behaving themselves.
Mm-hmm. Always is.
Always is in some form or fashion.
Okay. We know of Chompy in Lake Champlain. We know of Nessie in the Loch Ness in Scotland. Hi, Josie. So there's also the Flathead Lake Monster in Montana, who is also a monster from the lake. So many people say, well, if Nessie's real, why don't we see them in other lakes? This is what, 3, 4? We're seeing them in China now. We're seeing them in other places. It is happening. They are in other places apparently, so that's not an argument anymore.
Nope.
Arapaho, and I'm going to say Tahinen. I think it's how they're pronounced. Yeah, come on. Paste. This might be the last one we could do. I'm looking at our time. It's from the Arapaho word. The name of this is called from the Arapaho word for strong. They are a race of cannibalistic dwarves with allegedly superhuman strengths. They're generally depicted as the size of children and dark skin. Said to be extremely aggressive and unsociable. Well, yeah, if they're going to eat people, that would be unsociable.
I know a few humans that are like that in my area. Who knows? Maybe there's some form of hybrid from that creature.
Really?
They never know. It happens.
They like adults, though, which is kind of interesting. Native folklore widely agrees that they were killed in this ancient conflicts with the Arapahoes and other native tribes. But it's suggested in some tales that they had the ability to remove their hearts and store them for safekeeping to protect themselves from physical harm. So if they were killed off, they had to have found their hearts. That's kind of scary.
Ooh,
Yes, they do sound like the Dragar.
You know what? They really should be in horror movies too.
Why isn't Hollywood taking?
Come on, Hollywood! Get off your butts! Listen in on our conversation. You might learn something. Come on, have some new ideas here. Come up with something original.
This one's interesting. The Mayan god Kamazote. It means death bat. And in general, it was associated with darkness and light and death throughout native culture, depicted with a body of a human, but with a bat head and wings. Notably worshipped by pregnant women who would offer sacrifices for a healthy baby.
Oh, you gotta do what you gotta do before people go batty.
The predator hunter targeting villagers who wander with ill purpose through the night. So don't be going around doing bad things at night.
Yeah.
Because the bat's going to get you.
Yep. Who knows? Maybe a certain caped superhero was inspired by them?
He also has a similar role in some legendary stories that the Charon of the boatman of Greek mythology had.
Now he needs some clown chasing him.
Yeah. Okay, we've got 5 minutes, so that's going to be the last one we could do. But like I said, we could go on and on and on about these guys. I mean, these haven't been touched by a lot of people. And if you're writing horror stories, you might want to look up some mythology and see if it, Native American mythology, European mythology. Mythology is a good source of horror.
Yes.
Especially creatures.
It's like, how original can you get by doing something that nobody has really done before is when touching these underdogs.
But do it with respect. Please.
Yes.
Do it with respect because...
Pet them gently.
Yes. So we hope you all had a happy Thanksgiving. I hope you ate your fill and got really full. Hello, Horror Stories with the Baron.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum. From the front line, bitch. Put